Welcome back to the podcast, the video, however you're listening. Appreciate the support. Let's get into it. Queensland team selection reaction video podcast. Reece Walsh at fullback, your number one. A surprise straight up, Kalyn Ponga, but I understand this one. I think Queensland are rewarding Reece Walsh's basically form for the season so far. Really been up there as one of the great players of the season. I think he's able to produce brilliance from out of nothing. And I think that's something that Slater will absolutely love about Reece Walsh, knowing that he doesn't have too much to do in terms of coaching him. He's already got everything. It's just about installing that Queensland mentality, which I don't think will be too hard, especially knowing the fact that when Billy Slater informed him of his selection, he broke down. So that's what you want to see. About Kalyn Ponga, though, I feel like from the weekend didn't help his chances. I know he came back on the field, but seeing how innocuous that head knock was and that he had to go off and the way he just sort of collapsed from it isn't ideal for the Queenslanders, especially in Origin. You don't want to go lose your fullback after a couple of minutes either. So interesting how they get Ponga back into this team now. I think they've got a really good balance when we look into this football side deeper. So Selwyn Cobbo's your first winger, number two. Obviously been in tremendous form in a team that's doing well with the Brisbane Broncos. There is no way they were never going to not pick Selwyn Cobbo. The centre, Valentine Holmes, your number three, was sort of a turnstile on the weekend, but sort of all the Cowboys players were against the Tigers. So it wasn't great to have that going into an Origin Series game one. But Val Holmes, someone in a Cowboys team that hasn't performed all year, really, has been sort of the shining light. I feel like he's had some moments, some classy moments. Overall, defensively, he's been really strong. So I was a bit interested why he had that one-off game against the Tigers, but I don't think you can read too much into that for any sort of Cowboys players, especially one that's been doing well this year. The Hammer, Hamiso Tabuai at Fido, number four. Wins the centre spot over Dane Gagai. There was rumours floating around. There was mail coming out that they were going to move on from Dane Gagai. I think the weekend Connor Tracy sort of helped the Queenslanders choose this one. I'm not too sure in terms of Dane Gagai's Origin career if he continues on. I think he'll need definitely some injuries. Is he the next in line, though? That's probably a talking point to come. The Hammer has been tremendous all year for the Dolphins at fullback. Will he make a seamless transition? He's up against some pretty strong centres in Turbo and Latrell Mitchell. So I feel like he can do a job. His speed is the thing that would worry and should worry the New South Wales players, fans out there, coaching staff as well, because everyone knows you can't coach against speed, and he's got that in abundance. The Murray Taulagi wins the other wing spot, number five. I feel like, again, a Cowboys player, I think that combination with Val really won in that spot. There probably could have been a couple you could have chosen as that wing spot, but Taulagi's done it with the Kangaroos as well last year at the World Cup. Has that club combination and a really good option there for the Queensland Maroons. Won't let them down. Munster, obviously you go to for your 5'8" there, number six. Up there is probably the player of the tournament if Queensland can go ahead and win this, which I feel like they're strong favourites for. Daly Cherry Evans, the halfback, your captain, will do a job really well, actually. I feel like his game's probably gone up another level this year. I've been pretty critical of Daly Cherry Evans in the past, but he's really matured into a really good footy player. And in terms of that lead, the captaincy as well, I think he's a really good leader for that team and obviously this Queensland team. Thomas Flegler wins the number 8 spot. I know it was between probably him and Christian Welch. But Tommy Flegler, he's been in some pretty good form for the Broncos, who are up near the top of the ladder and has been all year. So it's hard to go against him. Will do a really good job, has a good motor on him. So we'll see how much work he can get through in an Origin game. Ben Hunt wins your hooker position, number 9. Obviously, no surprise. We all know this was going to happen. Harry Grant will be off the bench. See how long Ben Hunt plays for. He obviously won it last year for him, has been the Dragons' shining light in a tough season to date. Lindsay Collins, number 10, the prop, or the other prop, I should say. Probably an interesting one if you're going off purely form and club form. His team's not doing too well. He's probably been one of the better forwards for the Roosters, if not the best forwards. So I think with the changes, with no Papali'i, and then they're not picking Christian Welch, he was obviously in there for a front-running spot. David Fifita wins one of the second row, the edge spots, number 11. This was a little bit of a shock for mine. I thought Capewell might have done enough, but David Fifita off the bench would have been really dangerous, but he's warranted this. He's been tremendous this year. I think he's gone to another level in terms of consistency, picking his right times to run and actually being involved a lot more. And I think Billy Slater would love that from him. Exactly probably what he's been asked to do, and he's doing it really well. So a worry there for New South Wales having that on the edge. The other one, Tom Gilbert, so has been playing lock for the Dolphins, moves into an edge role. Let's see how he performs with that. Sometimes plays, especially at origin level, do find it hard to transition. They always get a tendency to want to come in and make those tackles and the work rate as well. But I feel like he obviously can do a job in probably the best Dolphins forward this year, so definitely deserved. So Patrick Carrigan, no need to go into this too much, has been a shining light for the Broncos once again this year. Loves that niggle as well. We're starting to see that in his game, so I feel like this first 15-minute period will be right down his alley. Harry Grant is your 14. No shocks, as I said earlier, with the Ben Hunt selection. He'll come on after probably 25, 30 minutes, run around, do his thing probably for about a 30-minute period. Then Ben Hunt will come back for that final 15, 20 minutes as well. Tino Fa'asuamaleaui gets a bench spot. I think this is more so just to continue on from what happens at the start of the game. He doesn't need to be in there to get too fired up early. We have seen that in the past with Payne Haas. There's sort of things going on between those two whenever they sort of get on the field together. So keep him away from that originally and then bring him on to continue that once the forwards do get a little bit tired and then the interchanges start to happen. Ruben Cotter gets you 16. Again, a Cowboys player who's probably been a shining light, especially in the pack, has done a really solid job. Hard to say that after the weekend, but for mine, he's been probably the standout forward for the Cowboys. Jai Arrow, year 17, an interesting selection. I probably would have gone Christian Welch for this one, or maybe even Jermaine Hopgood. I think he's been good for the Eels. But Jai Arrow's done a job before. We know what we'll get from him. Probably go on for just a 15-minute stint and just absolutely go crazy, which suits Queensland to a T. The 18th, 19th man, you got Tom Dearden, and you've also got Christian Welch as well. So there it is, Queensland fans. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe to all our social media channels. We've got Facebook, Instagram, we've got YouTube's as well, and you've also got Spotify podcasts. Please like the video. Good luck, Queensland. Great team selections. Great. I think this is going to be a great series, so really looking forward to this one. Enjoy.